Welcome back to Texas, where moments ago Jerry Nadeau got a special send-off from Army Colonel Thomas Nickerson.
All right, bro.
You ready, boss?
Man, I'm ready. Excited about being here because, man, let me tell you, you're representing all those in uniform that are circling around the world, and we're proud to be here. Good luck. Hooah, baby. Hooah. All right.
See you, boss.
All right.
Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR and proud sponsor of the Bud Pole Award, given to the fastest qualifier at each Winston Cup race. Bobby Labonte won his 23rd career pole this weekend, tying him with Ryan Newman for the lead this season. Since '79, Anheuser-Busch has awarded more than $8 million as title sponsor of NASCAR's Pole Award program. Here's the way they'll line up today with the Samsung Radioshack 500. Labonte with Elliott Sadler, outside pole for the second straight year in this race. A Chevy and a Ford on the front row. Flying Ryan Newman with Jimmy Johnson. The engine change will put Johnson to the back before they drop the green flag. There's Jerry Nadeau in row 3 with former Cup champ Bill Elliott. Jeff Gordon with Kevin Harvick. Best of the RCR cars starting there in 8th. Joe Nemechek, yesterday's winner with the '89 Cup champ Rusty Wallace. And there's the inaugural Texas winner Terry Labonte in row 6 with Dale Jr.
You got to be fast. You got to last.
Saw Elliott Sadler on the front row there in that Ford. He was the only Ford that qualified in the top 15, Darrell. And actually, when I looked at practice yesterday, there was only about one Ford in that top 10 or 12 practice speeds.
I think they'll be up there in the race, Larry.
I would say
awfully good race
so.
cars. Matt Kenseth, Dale Jarrett, you know, even Mark Martin. I think Mark will get going today. So I think we'll see the Fords represented well. That 99 car, it's about time for them to do a turnaround.
We have good side-by-side racing at Las Vegas and at Atlanta. What about here in Texas today?
It's going to be a little treacherous. So you get up on that outside right now. You can look at the racetrack. You can see up where those, see where the cars are up on the high side. There's no rubber up there. There's no grip up there. It's dirty. It's sandy. You get up there, more than likely you're going to back it up in the fence.
Where we did see a lot of passing yesterday in the Busch race on the outside was just off of restarts, the first lap or two.
You got to get them while they're grouped up. Get them in bunches. You know, get everybody fighting for that bottom. That's what everybody tries to do. Get to the inside. You get them kind of slowing down, and maybe you can zap a couple of them before you get around them.
2 cars failed to make the race, and here are those that'll move to the back and why.
Yeah, Sterling Marlin, Jimmy Johnson, and Todd Bodine all changed engines. And then we talked about Kyle Petty in the wreck from Bristol last week, 2 cracked ribs. Christian Fittipaldi will start the race for him. Christian did practice the car both practice sessions yesterday. And I'm going to tell you what, Darrell, I watched practice. Sterling Marlin, Jimmy Johnson, Todd Bodine, they were pretty fast in practice.
They got their work cut out for them to come from the back of the field here because, like we said, it's very, very difficult to pass, and you got to dodge a few bullets here early on.
It's a beautiful day for racing here just north of Fort Worth, 56 degrees, light humidity, no chance of rain.
But I'm going to tell you guys, this track temperature right here, 90 degrees, that's quite a bit warmer than yesterday's practice, about 72 degrees. The racetrack's not going to quite have the grip it had yesterday.
Would you repeat that one more time?
No chance of rain.
Thank you very much.
It'll take 334 laps to reach 500 miles.
And how about that pit window, 65, 60 laps? And we'll see different agendas. We're going to see some 2-tire stops. We're going to see 4-tire stops. And as I said in the opening, you'll see some guys try to get off sequence, get that track position.
It's such a good tire here. I think you can take 2 occasionally and get away with it.
They're ready for us, Darrell.
They know, don't they? I love it. Thank you very much.
Pace car is in turn 4, ready to drop off the banking and send us off for 500 miles.
DW, we're going to be driving off in these corners at almost 200 miles an hour. Please reach up there and pull in belts one more time.
I'm ready to go, big guy. The gauges are looking good. Coming to get the green. Boogity, 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 boys. Let's go racing today.
Guys will be fighting for that bottom groove as they get to turn 1. Look like Elliott Sadler's going to win the race down in the turn 1.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte does not get a very good start.
Harvick had a great start. There's nowhere to go unless he wanted to make it 3 wide in turn 1, which wouldn't work.
But we've had problems here on the early laps. You know, we first came here, we didn't even make a lap here for the first couple of races, so we got to be careful.
3 abreast mid-pack.
That'll work all right. You might be able to pull that off right now because you're not up to full speed yet. But once you get up to full speed, I wouldn't try that. And you can see already how quickly everybody's just trying to get in line.
Joe Nemechek in the 25 car, he's hung on the outside off turn 2. He lost about 3 positions. There's just no grip up there.
Jeff Gordon to the inside of Ryan Newman. That's 7th place, changing hands as they continue to cut and thrust in the middle of this field.
And what happens, Mike? You just go in the corner a little hard, the car pushes up, opens up the bottom, and everybody freight trains by you.
You know, Darrell, as they get into these runs, you pick up the throttle. In some cases on fresh tires, you don't even completely come all the way out of the throttle. You're carrying so much speed on the exit of the corner, if the car won't turn, the only way you can make it turn is roll out of the throttle, late exit of the corner.
Yeah, it's a momentum racetrack, Larry. I mean, once you get the thing wound up, you just try to stay in the throttle as much as you possibly can.
Johnny Benson past Nemechek now. Robbie Gordon to the inside. Battle for the lead. Bill Elliott wants it from Elliott Sadler. Takes it.
Well, that's a big move on Bill's part. You know, Bill qualified well, and, gee, he just jumped up there and took the lead. That's pretty impressive.
Bill Elliott is actually the track record holder here. That Bobby Labonte didn't quite break that track record on Friday.
Well, you know, when we got here, there was some talk about the track had lost a lot of grip. But, buddy, I haven't seen it. I didn't see it in qualifying. I sure didn't see it in the race yesterday. Oh, Gordo's got him a pretty good run going here, too. He's trying to get around Ryan Newman, but Ryan Newman's not the kind of guy that lets you go.
It's a battle for 6th.
Ryan Newman races you every lap like it's the last one. Nothing wrong with that, by the way.
No.
But, you know, it'd be good to get to the last one.
From Nadeau, looking back at Newman and Gordon. Nadeau in 5th, about 2 seconds behind the leader.
We got the Fox tracks on Dave Blaney, the 77 car. There you see is about 11 seconds behind the leader. He couldn't get to the bottom of the racetrack. Maybe he'll fall in behind Sterling Marlin right there. Remember, Sterling in the 40 car started at the rear of the field because of an engine change. Here's that battle for 6 right there. Jeff Gordon in the 24 goes by Ryan Newman in the 12.
Dave Blaney's actually picked up 5 spots since the start of this race and then gave 2 back. Bill Elliott's opened up a 2nd on Elliott Sadler, and Kevin Harvick, who was very quick off the mark when they dropped the green flag, has now settled into 3rd.
Bill likes it out front. He likes that clean air. He likes the view he's got right now.
Now, as Dave Blaney lost those 2 spots we told you, see if there was anything between he and John Andretti here.
That's just that's a classic place a way to pass here. You get that nose up under that guy, get your nose up under his back bumper. He starts to push up off the turn and actually gets him a little loose, and he's got to get out of the throttle. You go right by.
Steve Burns.
And Mike, I talked to Booty Barker this morning, the crew chief for Dave Blaney, and he said we were terrible when we first got here. I've changed everything this morning. Caster, camber, truck arms, nose weight, shock, springs. He said we may be terrible. We'll know in about 10 laps once this race starts.
Well, I'm going to tell you a guy that started up in 9th, won the Busch race yesterday, Joe Nemechek. He's not been able to get his car to the bottom. He's running through the bottom here. He's all the way back to 25th. Dick, something's going on with that group.
Yeah, he just can't get the nose of that car to behave itself. He's been on the radio and thinks maybe it's an aero problem. They're really not sure exactly what it is, Larry, but it's the front end.
And I just have to believe, Darrell, we talked in open. I mean, this track, I think, is different from yesterday when it practiced because the Busch race has been run on it, plus the track temperature is way up.
Number of things you can do. Plant that nose. You can pull that fender out a little bit and get a little bit more downforce on that nose. And if you got any tape that you're not taped up solid or anything like that, you might put a piece of tape on the nose and get that nose sticking, and you might change that car a lot.
Mark Martin goes past Nemechek for 26th. Now running in tandem with his Roush teammate, last week's winner, Kurt Busch.
On these high-speed tracks like this, Mike, Larry, you know, aerodynamics is so critical. And a little tweak on a front fender or a little tweak on the car will make a huge, huge difference.
You know, Mark Martin won this race in 1998. They've been struggling here all weekend long. Qualified back in 32nd. I talked to Ben Leslie, his crew chief, this morning, and Darrell, this is something you don't want to deal with here. He said no matter what they have done to that race car, the car is bad loose in. And when you're loose in at almost 200 miles an hour, it just kills that whole corner.
Yeah, you can't. A driver cannot stand to go down the straightaway here and turn to the right when he gets to the corner.
I love that graphic on Mark Martin. Can you believe his favorite hobby is racing?
Does he know any other sports? Smoke from Jimmy Spencer coming around turn number 2, and lots of it from his Dodge. Spencer pulls to the inside of the racetrack.
Number 2, you got smoke rolling out of the back.
We anticipate this place being hard on engines. 500 miles here, a lot of RPM.
Caution is out for Spencer. Comes at lap 12.
And Jimmy did not come to pit road because the caution came out. The hopes is that he could stay on the lead lap.
Okay, I got all my temperatures are fine. I got oil pressure. I don't know what it is.
Get all the wrenches, all 1 1/8, 1 1/4, all oil line wrenches.
Go today.
Tires, nothing.
That was Tommy Baldwin, his crew chief, trying to get a game plan for that crew. He was talking about 1 1/8 inches, 1 1/4 inches. That's what size most of the oil lines going to the engine are.
Larry, like you're talking about the oil lines, it also could be a valve cover. A lot of times when you take these engines apart after the final practice to adjust the valves, you try to reseal the valve covers, and sometimes it doesn't work. You suck a gasket in, and this is what you'll see is that oil getting on the headers. That's the reason why Jimmy says my temperatures look good, and oil pressure, which is very critical, is still good.
The caution comes out at 12 laps. And some of the tail end cars were already more than 2/3 of a lap back.
Yeah, one of the things we know, because he continues to run, it's not terminal.
Right.
So it's something they probably will be able to fix, and so he's fortunate to get this caution.
I would say if I'm at the front of this pack, 13 laps, I'm going to stay out right now. But if I'm at the back, maybe the last 10 cars, how about let's go and at least get some fuel in this thing? And since we're back there, we're probably not driving very good. Let's make some adjustments.
Remember what you told me. Let's get out of sequence. Now's the time.
Good time to start. Good time to start.
Well, let's see who will. Kevin Harvick will. He's the 3rd place car and the first to peel off to pit road. Jerry Nadeau fakes to pit road and stays out.
Harvick is about the only one in the top 15 or so.
Yeah. Steve Park, Steve Park threw the dummy, stayed out, and behind him a whole group of cars. Mayfield, Jeff Burton, McMurray come in. In fact, the whole rest of the field comes in.
From the middle back.
Right.
I mean, you got to come in. There's nothing to lose and a lot to gain.
Matt?
Well, they're going to make a chassis adjustment as well as an air pressure adjustment for Kevin Harvick. His car was just a tick too free on entry. Big Mike Sears drops the jack, service complete for Harvick.
By Jeff Hammond's count, 20 cars, nearly half the field, came onto pit road.
So I like a caution flag early like this. I can get my car adjusted up for the track conditions today.
First caution of the day, smoke from Jimmy Spencer's car. They have the hood up. They're working on it. We'll work on this and be right back. This is NASCAR on Fox.